I'm Michelle.
And I'm Lisa, and this is what happens before Boca.
Hey, Lise.
Hey, Michelle.
Welcome to episode 6, The Fountain of Truth.
But not the Fountain of Youth.
That is 100% correct. It is the fountain of the 50s.
Correct.
All right, so I want to start before we get into the details with this crazy podcast story that I think is just so cool and why we are kind of doing this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys remember in episode, I think it was 3, when we talked about complaining, I had cited an article from a publication called Feller, and in it I cited a linguist named Dr. Diana Boxer. I didn't think anything of it, just she was the scientist who had done the research. Anyway, after the episode aired, one of my best friend's mothers from childhood texted me that she couldn't believe I cited Diana Boxer because Diana Boxer actually went to high school with her and my dad and was a good friend of theirs. And I just thought that was so crazy.
Incredible.
Right? What was the word I said? Convergence?
Harmonious.
Oh, harmonious convergence. Yeah. Rachel taught me this word where it's just things in the universe sort of coming together in this magical way.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was so cool. My dad's not here anymore. And just thinking that I randomly picked an article and the doctor that I chose to quote was somebody that he knew. I just thought it was so cool. So I love these little magical moments that are happening from the podcast.
I love it. And I said to Michelle, I feel like her dad is he knows what you're doing. He's
I hope so.
Watching over.
It was so cool.
The way that the universe works like that is incredible.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your weekend in the tundra?
Oh my God, the tundra. Meanwhile, I think I'm so used to the tundra because I went to school in Syracuse and it is
unbearable.
Brutal.
Unbearable.
It was good. It was admin stuff, unsexy admin, paperwork, until there was little knock, knock, knocks on the door. And it was our cute neighbors from down the street. They're adorable, 2 little boys, and they wanted the boys to come out and play with them. But before that, they came in and we made hot chocolate and they cozied up on the couch. And they're just so cute. And then I helped them get on all their snow stuff.
I feel like your house is a magnet for boys.
It's a boy
the wayward boys
house.
Should come here and just plant themselves here.
One's standing on a chair to play pool. Another one's
it.
riding on Rosie's back. The cutest thing was when they went outside to play, a few minutes later, another little knock knock, and there was little Leo, and he was I
love that name, Leo.
I know, it's such a good name, Leo and Xavier. He had snow in his gloves, and he was help.
I remember when my kids used to get snow stuck in their mittens. Mm-hmm. That was so cute.
It was so cute, but they hate that. So I fixed it for him, and I was wearing my glasses, and he used to call me Jake's mom for the first year that I knew him.
Yeah.
But now he calls me Lisa, and he was why are you always wearing your glasses, Lisa? And I was because I'm frickin' 55.
I'm blind and I'm old.
I know.
And this is what happens.
And meanwhile, his parents, our neighbors, Dan and Vicky, are always send them back down. They're bothering you. And I was is it psychotic that I want to keep them?
No, it makes sense. It's having the little people around feels like energy, and it's good.
Yeah. So with that quietness of the snow, I think it kind of leads us to today's episode.
Yeah.
Because when things are quiet, internally or externally, you have a little bit more time to think about yourself, and you start looking in the mirror and you start thinking, what's going on here? So this week, we took a very, very deep, meaty dive into the whole anti-aging industry. And it's everywhere, whether it's what do you call it? TikTok, but for skin talk, or listening to the influencers, or listening to the plastic surgeons on Instagram.
Those are my favorite.
Those are my favorite too.
The before and afters.
The before and afters are incredible. And the countdown of how they rate their different procedures, 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm. I'd give a 10 for salmon facial,
right.
Salmon sperm, whatever the hell they call it.
Sometimes they give a 0, and I'm frig, that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the marketing, the intensity that we're faced with daily when it comes to anti-aging, and the choices that we're faced with are sometimes it just feels out of control. Who do you trust? How much am I putting out there? How much am I spending? And it's a rabbit hole.
It is a total rabbit hole. And I just want to preface by saying that in doing research for this episode, I think we initially thought like, okay, let's come out of this. Like, we're going to do a ton of research and let's figure out what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do, what's a waste of money, whatever. I will say, like, spoiler alert, I don't think that's what we found. I think what we were hoping to come away with now is just like helping people, helping ourselves kind of determine what your own personal anti-aging and wellness goals are, because the space is so overwhelming and you can't do it all and it's not all appropriate for you.
Right.
And so really just being able to like edit what you're intaking and not just impulsively buying or impulsively doing when it's not necessary and when it's probably not the right thing for you. So like, I think that is what we took away from this,
100%.
is that we need to like streamline and edit all of the input in like a very individualized way to make decisions about what we're buying into and what we're not going to buy into.
Right. And I think you sort of helped me with this, like making very intentional decisions about what our goals are and where we're going. And Michelle gave a good example the other day. She was like, oh, this, influencer was on and she has like the cream of all creams. And I was like, what is it? And meanwhile, you look at her and of course, she's 23 years old.
Right.
So the cream of all creams is not, if everything worked, we would all look the same by now.
Correct. That's so true. Like, we would all look 25 if every single cream did that. So I think it's creams, it's procedures. I mean, when we were looking at this, it was like the red light therapies, the PDRN, the Botox, the fillers, the GLP-1s, I mean, the collagen, the peptides, the growth factors. Like, when I was like writing all these things down, I'm like, oh my God. And I think you sent me something else last night. I'm like, oh my God, that's a new buzzword I never even heard of.
Right.
Like, it's every day a new buzzword. And it's by the time you research the one buzzword, a new buzzword has replaced that word.
Right. And I think it's a matter of, at some point, it's not your skin, it's your expectations. Like, there, you just have to realize that we're getting older. So you can either fight it and you'll still get older, or you accept it and you'll still get older.
Aging gracefully. We were sort of trying to figure out also, like, how much is this consuming us, right?
Right.
Like, does it make me feel insecure? Does it overwhelm me? Are we dabbling in it? How often are we scrolling? How often are we thinking about it? How often are we talking about it? How much money are we spending on it? I think in doing this research, I think we started to realize how often it was consuming us, thinking about it, talking about it, scrolling through it.
And if you have like 14, 15, 20, 30 steps in your skincare routine, you're not glowing, you're stressed out.
Right.
So,
and it feels like a full-time job,
yes.
Right? Yep. And then you have to ask yourself, like, at what point can we just be like,
it's okay.
Like, it's done. Like, we're 87 and we're just going to be okay being wrinkly, crepey, gray.
So I think what we try to do, and we encourage you guys to do, is to just like take a step back and really think about the anti-aging movement currently and what your place is in it.
Right.
And I think when you do that and you kind of curtail your expectations a little bit or make some decisions that, you're going to do something crazy, you will come to peace with whichever decision it will be. And I think that's important.
Yeah. Because I started to feel personally like I was getting very overwhelmed by it.
Yeah. It does feel like a lot. You're like, holy shit.
Right. And then I felt like I was spending stupid money on things. And I was like, then that didn't even make a difference. I was buying things that I use this app called Skin School. Did you ever use it? And so, you can put in the product you're using and then it'll tell you like what ingredients, what other things have it, if it's clean. And I started to feel like, okay, I'm buying things that have the same ingredients. In fact, I did use Gloria, aka ChatGPT, and I put in all the products I was using. And I said, tell me what's duplicitous, tell me when I should use them, tell me which two shouldn't go together. And that was actually very helpful because she really edited down what I was using. And she's like, these three things you're using are pretty much the same thing.
Right. You don't want to layer on the same
Right. And so you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time.
And it doesn't absorb.
Right. It's sitting on your skin. It's probably causing you to have other issues like breakouts or whatever.
Right.
So
clogging pores.
Right. So we're trying to figure out how to edit down all the information that's coming in and then formulate something that's like individualized to you.
Right. Want to hear a fun fact about Gloria also?
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are hesitant to put their picture on Gloria, but I feel like our picture's on everything. So
Yeah.
I just did it. I took a picture of myself. I told her the makeup that I usually love, but I didn't want to schlep out to the store. And she told me what colors are correct for my skin, what color shadow, what color
She never
foundation.
disappoints.
And then also she asked like intelligent questions about like my skin type and things like that. And I came out with a whole line of makeup without even going to the store, so I could order it online, which I love.
Extremely clever.
All right, so because we have a lot to cover, let's get down to like the nitty gritty here. Let's talk about a little bit about like what we currently do.
All right, we're going to spill the tea. We're going to be
spill the
honest
tea,
about what we do. All right. So clearly I am coloring my hair every 3 to 4 weeks. That's like
beautiful.
non-negotiable. I'm very gray. I'm never giving that up. But I go to the salon. She does it. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Down with the tox. I've been getting Botox for, I don't even know, 8 to 10 years. I do it like 3 times a year, just like up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I've done a bunch of like lasers, but usually I'm doing like spot treatment lasers. I'm never doing like a CO2. I'm more doing like an IPL or BBL for brown spots, because that typically is the thing that like plagues my skin. I've done some microneedling, but never like anything like the blood.
Right, PRP.
Yeah, nothing like that. I do a lot of facials, some peels, but I don't love when my skin sheds. So I kind of stay away from that. I would say like the majority of the money that I think I'm spending on skincare is like at home stuff. So my skincare routine, my hair care routine, I almost feel like a little scientist. Like every day I'm trying new things and mixing this with this to see what's going to give me a better glow or a better hair blowout. Like this is what I'm wasting my time with.
Right.
So, I mean, I would say that I also dabble in a little bit of supplements. So my trainer got me onto creatine. I'm taking turmeric because some time ago I went to somebody and she told me I was inflamed. I don't know if any of that is doing anything. And now I'm going to start to be taking some calcium and vitamin D. Let's see. I am curious about fat transfer for under the eyes. That's like one thing I've been kind of starting to research, and we'll talk a little later about what one of the industry insiders kind of let us know about some of those things. But what I'm really looking for is I want something to help me tighten under here. If you're listening and not watching, I am pulling on my underneath neck because it's starting to like separate from my, like, I don't know, from my face. So that droopiness is like my new thing. And I don't want to get a facelift yet.
You don't want to wear turtlenecks?
I kind of feel like the turtlenecks like
make it worse. I know, it's actually pushing it up today.
It either like cuts it in a weird, I don't know. So that's kind of where I am. What about you? What about you?
So, some similarities. I mean, okay, so I am completely gray. If I didn't color my hair, I could probably color it every 2 weeks, but I can't sit there, even though I love my salon. So I go every 3 weeks, and I do mostly coloring. I like when my red comes out underneath, but sometimes I've been chasing the grays by putting more blonde in.
That's good.
I don't know. It's a trade-off. But one thing, full confession here now, which is not that I'm embarrassed, but many people don't know, is that I have extensions in.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I not know this about you? Like,
I have extensions, and I will tell you why. Honestly, and we'll get to a whole menopause episode, but menopause,
like your hair started to fall out,
my hair started to fall out in clumps. My hair, I always had thin hair, but I had a lot of it. And especially in the perm days, it was like fall. But then it started to fall out. I would notice clumps in the shower, clumps in my brush, clumps like when I pull my hair through, it all come out. So my stylist, who I love, suggested the extensions. And now I feel like there's no going back. I don't do it for a length. I don't really need it in the back. It's mostly through here. And, you can't really get close to your scalp with extensions, which I still had a problem with. So I am also taking minoxidil. In the pill formula, honestly, if you're not that bad, maybe the shampoos or the, tonics that you put on would work. But I am told that tried and true, if you really want it to work, it's the pill. And I don't have any side effects from it. And I do notice like all these baby hairs growing in. Sometimes I feel like I have bangs, but it's actually working.
Okay,
so
that's good.
Yeah, that's my hair. As far as my face, full disclosure, I have gone to a plastic surgeon. If you're watching, you could see. If you're listening and you know me, you know it's like my sort of like my signature is my under the eye bags. I was born with them. They're not fat pockets. They are actual extra skin, and my eyelids are starting to droop. And I do actually have this like vision issue with it. So I did consult with a plastic surgeon for surgery. And I think honestly, no under eye cream, in my opinion, works at all. But those, what do you put on those eye patches doesn't work. It's just extra skin. The only thing that's going to fix it is surgery. So I have to decide, whether I'm going to do that. I do some Botox. I don't do it regularly, which maybe is my problem, but I feel like my L's are so ingrained in me. I remember as a little girl, my Grammy would always say, like, stop furrowing your brow, Lisa. It's going to stick that way. And Grandma, it stuck. They stick. So also, if you're going to do any sort of surgery, you can't do Botox leading up to it because it affects, obviously the procedure because it's not your natural self. So I think I'm kind of off of that for now. I have tried I don't also like the shedding. I have tried all different sorts of facials and hydrofacials and things like that. Do I notice a big difference? Maybe if I stuck to the sequence that you're supposed to stick to. I think you have to be
extremely consistent.
Yes.
And like almost be on like a regimen with that kind of stuff. Like, okay, this month you're going to do a peel, and this month you're going to do a laser, then this month you're going to do facial. Like,
and I think you have to consistently find somebody that you love, that you trust, because if you're jumping around to different places looking for the Holy Grail, I think you're just at like back to step one because everybody has, we'll talk about this later, but everybody has different machines and different brands. And I feel like you need consistency, which is something that I struggle with. So that's, one of my goals.
Yeah. Okay. So what, like you started to get into it, like what else do you feel like is your goal for the anti-aging, not the anti-wellness, the wellness space?
So I think from the wellness space, honestly, my goal is more so like aging well from inside out.
Yeah.
I think no matter how hard you chase it and no matter what extreme you go to, you're always going to have these little nitpicky things that you see about your skin and your face. I want to grow old gracefully internally as well so that I can function, I'm already 55, so that I can function when I'm older. I want to be like playing with the grandkids and like things like that. And I think like that whole internal function really fascinates me. And we talked a little bit about this, and we'll get to like what some of the things that we have done with that. But I think that's really my goal, like figuring out how to age in a healthy manner from the inside out.
I want to say that's my goal, and I hear you, and that's registering with me, but I feel like it would be a little bit of a white lie.
It's a little bit of a white lie.
Not for you, but for me.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a white lie for me too, because am I going to look in the mirror and I can, do my Pilates, but I look like 150? No, I'll frickin' be miserable. But if I'm going to spend my money on something, then I'm going to save my money for the Holy Grail, which for me is the eyes, and concentrate a little bit more on the inside.
Yeah, I think for like most of my life, I'm such a bad eater. I'm not a really regimented exerciser. So I think that just like started recently, I feel like, to catch up with me. Like all of a sudden I was like, oh, my back hurts, my hips hurt. Like I have to do more of that kind of stuff. I want to take really good care of my teeth. I want to take really good care of my hair. I want to take good care of like my bones. So that is like just catching up with me. Like I have to start eating better. I have to start exercising more. So I think that for the last, let's say 10 years, I've been so focused on the skin and like more recently the hair that I do need to like spread the wealth a little bit and go more internal for my wellness and just like worry a little less about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the internal stuff, like if you don't have that, it doesn't matter, right? Like
As
if I
my
can't
hair is falling here.
yeah, like if you can't get up from the floor, if you are like having trouble bending down, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, you want to feel young. So I would agree that has to be a goal. It hasn't been, but I think it has to
Yeah,
be.
it's a good goal. And I think like kind of like nothing ages you faster than pretending that you're not aging. And it's balancing the internal and the external, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to like also like for me, I just want to like refine and like I never want to not look like myself. I'm not somebody who would ever want to like alter something so much that I don't look like myself.
Right.
But I certainly like the tweaking
Yeah.
and the refinement. And then, you know, sometimes when you see a problem like your hair falling out, then you are like forced to do something about it. So.
Okay. So a little bit enough about us and more so like what we did to prepare for this episode. So one of the things we did was we went to our new favorite friends, Forever Young in Montvale. Forever Young is a chain. It's a med spa chain. They do everything there. They have NAD, vitamin drops, peptide treatments, GLP-1 treatments. They do facials and injectables and Botox and veins and hair restoration.
I feel like I should just plant myself there for a day and be like, take me and just make me beautiful.
Right. So first of all, thank you for treating us like so well.
They were so great there. Liz and Gina and everybody.
Everybody. We were so
great.
comfortable. It's beautiful. It's clean. And they really listen to you and what like your needs are.
Yeah.
And they're willing to explore without giving you the hard sell, which feels like very comfortable.
Yeah.
We could have stayed all day. If I had to go pick up, Michelle had to go back to work. But we were like, maybe we could order in some food and just hang out.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do is because of the time constraints and just because it felt like a lighter like introduction was IV vitamin therapy. And what we did was we sat down, we had a lovely chair and music and we felt so calm.
The heating pad, which I really enjoyed.
Pad. And
what was the drip we did? What was it called?
Forever Young.
I think that's the one we did.
Well, that's the name of it. And it makes sense.
It makes
it's the name
sense.
of it.
It was
yeah.
Forever Young.
It had vitamin C, B vitamins, lysine, taurine, which helps skin hydration and elasticity. A lot of things for like promoting collagen synthesis. The calcium, magnesium chloride, biotin, which is like for hair,
and
reduces
nails.
Inflammation for nails, skin renewal, cell renewal. I mean, it was like ran the gamut. But one thing that we added to it, which was like that push, was the glutathione. I cannot pronounce this word, but meanwhile, I'm obsessed with this. So since that vitamin drip experience, I've gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole with glutathione. Yeah, I got it. And it's basically your body's cleanup crew. And my go person for everything is talking about this nonstop. And I trust her completely. She said it helps neutralize stress. It supports detox pathways. It keeps inflammation from running the show. Speaking of turmeric, this might be. It plays a role in skin clarity and your immune system, and it's really how well we age on the inside, which also shows up on the outside.
That's true, because when we were like, we want something that's going to make us glowy. We want something that's going to make us feel refreshed. And so I think, obviously all of those ingredients.
Yeah.
Are they ingredients? What do you call them? Like
all the products that they're putting.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously we're working towards that wellness from the inside out, which I think was what we kind of wanted to experiment with.
And I sort of like look at it as like, take care of your inside and the face will follow. And, it was, in all fairness, we went once. I will go again.
Definitely.
The fluids really helped. I do not drink enough water, so I feel like this is like a good supplement for me. And my diet, honestly, is not the best. I mean, I just had to eliminate for this like reflux issue that we honestly are both dealing with. All of my major food groups.
Yeah.
Chocolate, red sauce,
citrus,
vinegar, citrus, wine, alcohol. Like those are my major food groups. So,
I just want to say, side note, I had 2 glasses of wine last night. I don't think I could drink anymore.
I know, you don't feel good.
I felt so nauseous. I could barely sleep. I'd take 20 things to fall asleep. it just like, I don't know if part of it was the acid reflux, so it just like doesn't feel good.
Doesn't
inside
feel
of me.
good. Well,
Anyway,
you could go for the IV drip. That's another thing that they do deal with. But
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to like follow a night out with, oh, I'm going for an IV
And
drip.
again, this was something that you could do at your own speed. Like you want to go once a month, you want to go once a year, you want to go once a week. You know, I think they were so flexible with creating a regimen for you that would help meet your goals.
Right. And what I was saying about my diet, what I was trying to lead to is that because my diet is not that great, my vitamin intake is probably not that great. And I tried to add C the other day and I was like peeing neon. And we all need vitamin D. So, you know, a lot of these things that are in it are just like extra support without being too much. Our body's going to absorb what it needs. I loved it. I would go again.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So another part of the research that we did was, you know, as we said before, we feel so inundated and we don't know who to trust and who's in the industry in terms of, you know, what's the right thing, what's a hard sell. So one of my best friends has a best friend who's in the industry. She's an esthetician for a major plastic surgeon in the city and in Long Island. So we felt like we could trust her. And we asked her a million questions that we've always wanted to know the truth about. And we're going to keep her anonymous so that she could be as honest as possible and give us like her real thoughts.
This was great. And her honesty is so appreciated because like I said before, it's very hard for you to know who to trust.
Right.
And
like, are they just selling me something? Because she wasn't selling us anything. She didn't care. We weren't trying to, you know.
And we asked her for give us the lowdown, give us the down and dirty. And she really did.
She really did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So first we asked her like about all the different treatments. So we asked her about skin tightening. And what she said for this was she loves RF, which is radio frequency. She said it's not a laser. It's an energy wave. There's no downtime after. And the brand name that she liked was Forma. But if your dermatologist or plastic surgeon doesn't have Forma, we're just being sort of directed to ask for radio frequency. And this is for skin tightening, like under the neck, face, all that kind of stuff.
Right. And the next thing we asked her about was treatment for dark age spots. And she said she's a big fan of IPL. It allows you to customize your settings and go much stronger on the brown spots and lift them up to the surface until they scab off and fall off. And she said this takes anywhere from 10 to 14 days.
I've done this. It's very satisfying when you see them like flake off.
Yes. I know a few people have done it. And then again, same question about sunspots. And she said that they usually do the same thing. They smooth, they're flat, they're harmless, but all signs of cumulative sun damage. And she liked Lumecca, but most IPLs do the job as long as you know you're getting the right settings. But she finds Lumecca works best.
Okay. So we also asked her about glowing skin and texture, and she felt like lasers and the superficial peels are the great for the overall glow and retexturing of the skin. She said for deeper fine lines and wrinkles, a resurfacing laser like CO2 would be your option. But that one, I mean, I've seen the before and afters. Like, you look like you were just like burned in an oven. If I came home like that, I think Craig would have an apoplexy. Like, what did you do to yourself?
Same.
And I think I would have so much anxiety waiting for it to heal that I don't know that I could do that.
I think we're so lucky that our husbands, don't want us to do these things because they love us just the way we are. But I mean, I get Botox, and if I get a black and blue mark, I tell my family that I hit my head on the night table.
No, Craig doesn't know I do Botox.
Sorry, I lied.
If you're watching, Craig, just fast forward.
But fast forward, what Botox? Treatments for under eye bags are hollowing, near and dear to us. Under eye bags are tough. The best thing for that is to have it surgically removed. Ding dong. As you get older, or sometimes just hereditary, thanks Dad, the fat starts to protrude and needs to be removed either by a surgeon who can redistribute the fat and make it look symmetrical.
Yeah.
Not either, by a surgeon. And under eye hollowing is the complete opposite. You can do some very light, thin filler, or you can use your own fat and do a fat transfer, which is what we were talking about before.
I think a fat transfer of my own fat feels less scary.
Yes, or the newer treatments for hollowing are taking your own blood, which is what we were talking about, the PRP, and either mixing it with some filler or making your stem cells into filler by heating it up and mixing it. And we asked her, does this fat transfer with your own blood have a name, or making stem cells into filler have a name? Is there lumps and migration? And she said this is called Easy Gel or Easy PRF. I'm sorry, I keep saying PRP, PRF. They are similar, but one puts more of a liquid in and one makes more of a filler-like consistency. It's how you prepare it. There's no lumps or bumps with migration. Easy Gel restores volume, and Easy PRF is great for promoting collagen and increasing circulation.
Right. Next, we asked her about filler. I've never done filler. Have you done filler?
I did filler, so you're going to laugh. I did filler around my mouth because I get these like little circles here, which I don't like it. It freaking kills. And I did it right before Stella's mitzvah.
You did?
And I remember going to the mitzvah and we were sitting. It was like a girl's picture and I couldn't move my mouth. And I was like, we have to go pull up those pictures and see if we can see it.
That's really funny. Yeah. So she said that doctors are actually pulling away from filler because it can look way too fake and way too waxy.
Yep.
But she said if you are going to do it, to just do it for the hollowing in your cheeks or your nasal labial folds. And she said, there's a ton of different brand names.
Labial folds.
Right. She said there's Volbella, which is very light, and there's Voluma, Velour. These are all forms of Juvederm. So, she was saying that people are kind of pulling away from it or using it very, very sparingly in a different way than I think they were a couple of years ago.
My mind went to the gutter. I'm spending too much time with you.
Why? What'd you think?
You said labial folds.
Nasal labial folds. That's what she said.
I thought you were talking about.
Oh, no. What is that?
I don't know.
What's your labial fold? Like this? Here? That's what I thought she meant. Not your labia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, okay, we digress. What are your thoughts on threading, we asked her. And she said threading is a good treatment in the right hands. You won't get too much out of it. So it definitely doesn't look too pulled. We always say that with threads, you can't pull enough, which is a good thing. So you look the best version of yourself. We both follow this doctor in the city. I've seen him do threading on his wife, who's absolutely gorgeous.
But then I hear such mixed reviews. Like, I feel like sometimes the doctors that do those 0 through 1 ratings, like a lot of them are like threading's like -2.
Right.
Like they speak so I feel like I don't like it when it's...
Yeah, I think you get very little out of it. And as you get older, when you really need more is when you really get less
And
from
I think that's one of the treatments they do say if you do that, it makes it harder then to go on to have a facelift. So just to note that. Okay. Yep. So we asked her if someone were trying to enhance their lips, what does she think about a lip flip versus like regular filler?
Oh, this I'm fascinated in because I want fuller lips on top.
I know. So she said she loves the lip flip. She said it's so natural. It gives you the perfect Cupid's bow and allows you to have a little plump without a duck look, which I don't like the duck look. And she said it also helps to like improve between the space between your nose and your lips so that they look a little bit more elongated. She said filler for the lips is also good if you have very thin lips or you lack volume, but she said it has to be done the right way. If you're looking for focusing on your lower lip, the lip flip obviously will not help you if it's just your upper lip. And then I asked her about the smoker's lines above the lip because I actually have that. My mom and I have it. It's like, I feel like it's like hereditary because I don't smoke. But she said what you could do for that was either a little resurfacing with like a laser, which she was calling ultra. You could also microneedle. You could use some fine filler and inject each line individually, or you could use a little Botox to stop the muscles from squeezing so it won't imprint on the skin. So there were a couple options for that.
So my hands down favorite influencer, Coco and Cashmere, I am obsessed with her lips, and she talks about it a lot and where she goes. She does a little filler in her lips, I feel like, and maybe she's done the lip flip before too. I'm going to go back and confer. But if I was to do it, I would go, I think she goes in Greenwich. I would go where she goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay. So what about the area under the chin? If it's sagging or wrinkling, Trace, are you listening? That would be RF microneedling or Morpheus. That gives you the ability to do some fat removal supplementally and tighten the skin as you remove the fat inside. It's also great for fine lines and wrinkling as well.
Good. Then we asked her what was the best Botox routine, which she said, obviously keeping up with it, being very consistent, going every 3 to 4 months, depending on the person, but you want to make sure you stay on a schedule. And she was talking about the imprinting. Like if you don't stay on a schedule, then the wrinkles start to like imprint on your skin and it's harder to get rid of them.
Right. Nefertiti. It's like a Amazon god or something like that. Facelift doesn't really work. If not,
This is to like snatch your jawline.
if not, what helps snatch your jawline? And she said it definitely works, but it's very subtle and wears off quickly due to the fact that we are always eating, talking, chewing, and moving the mouth constantly. Makes perfect sense. For a snatched jawline, RF tightening is still the best, and the two together are a great combination.
Okay.
There you go. Nefertiti.
Right. So we asked her if there were any new treatments in general that she thought were like revolutionary that we should all know about. And she said she's loving the salmon sperm treatment as an add-on to the laser or to the microneedling treatments. She said it's amazing to see how well it really works and boosts the skin at the cellular level, giving it more tone, tight, and supple looks, and a beautiful glow. I actually think I did do that when I went with my facialist with the microneedling.
Yeah. I want to try the microneedling next.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah. And, so she said the salmon sperm, like the PDRN, that kind of stuff. And, she said to talk to your provider about like the depths of the needles you're using because all of that obviously impacts your results.
Right. And to go to somebody that you trust.
Right.
Then we asked her to recommend for someone our age a morning and nighttime skin routine. And she said the best AM routine would be a cleanser for your skin type, a hyaluronic. Oh my God, what is my problem? Peptide serum, a moisturizer, and SPF. And the PM would be cleanse, VIT serum, and a richer lotion for night. And this is my favorite part. She said, always less is more. People who are using a million products are not getting the benefit from just piling them all on top of one another. They will not absorb. And so for me, I said, note to self, stop buying a freaking million products.
Yeah.
Buy some that either confer with Gloria or confer with your esthetician. Buy some that you love.
Yeah.
A trusted friend, and just use those.
Okay. We asked her which products do absolutely nothing, and she said the eye creams. She said specifically the eye creams with caffeine, which of course was the exact one that I was using. She said that the caffeine can actually, it's trendy, it will depuff the skin, but it actually just dehydrates it. And it actually makes it worse over time. Thank you for that. I've been using the same one with caffeine for a year.
Noted.
So I will not be doing that anymore.
We asked her what is the most important ingredient for someone our age, and she said retinoids and an SPF. They're vital for constant cell turnover, reducing fine lines, and improving texture and discoloration as we get older. And she said SPF obviously is a must to prevent future damage. I wish somebody would have told me when I was burning to a crisp when I was younger.
The baby oil, we would use baby oil.
Baby oil. One time my friend and I took these plastic lounge chairs out into the front, slathered ourselves with baby oil, and tried to make these like umbrellas covered with aluminum foil to reflect the skin onto us.
But it's just horrifying. I know. Okay, can anything help with saggy skin without surgery? She said there's definitely a ton of modalities out there to help with sagging skin. It just depends on the amount of skin. If there's a lot of sagging skin, obviously you need to cut that shit right off. If it's minimal and the patient has realistic expectations, then the RF, the microneedling, and the lasers, she does feel work. But you have to have like very realistic expectations.
Right. And we also asked her, how often do I need peels, laser, etc., without the upset? What's the real freaking deal? And she said for lasers and peels, it is always best to do a series of 3 to 4 consecutively and then get on a maintenance plan, which is usually quarterly. As far as which laser, we asked her to name a few, and she said you can ask for the ultra laser, you can ask for Fraxel. This was intriguing to me. They are all pretty much similar. It's just brand names.
Right. So you really have to just like understand the technology a little bit, do the research on that so you know what there's.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do get confused between the technology and the brand name. So now I know what to ask for.
Right. We asked her what treatment she does for herself. She said she loves doing hydrofacials with dermaplaning, which I love, and adding in lasers and microneedling. She said, then you get the best of everything. You're getting the tightening, the texturing, and the lifting, but you still look like yourself. So I thought that was good.
That was great. Anything specific for helping with collagen reproduction? She said all the treatments above, i.e. microneedling, lasers, peels, Morpheus, they are all for collagen producing. Anything that creates micro injuries to the skin triggers the body's natural wound healing, leading to new collagen.
Amen, sister.
Amen. So I'm going to be like pricking myself with little needles tonight.
So I hope that was helpful, because I felt like we tried to ask all the kinds of questions we always want to know.
Yes.
And, thought that was kind of all encompassing.
Yep. So the next thing that we did was we read Justine Bateman's book called Face, 1 Square Foot of Skin. And what this is a sharp cultural essay about how women's faces become public property. Bateman argues that aging has been reframed as personal failure instead of a neutral, natural part of life. She said wrinkles aren't just lines anymore. They're treated to solve problems, manage, and apologize for. She's not anti-beauty, anti-skincare, or anti-choices. She is anti-fear, and I liked that.
Yeah.
Anti-pressure, anti the idea that women owe the world youth to remain relevant, employed, or visible. And she points out that while men age into authority, and we've talked about this before, women are taught to erase evidence of time passing, often at a great emotional and financial cost. And her core message was constantly trying to fix your face drains the energy that you could be using towards living, thinking, creating, and leading.
Yeah, I always say this to my patients. It's like no one's going to get up at your funeral and be like, wow, Mary was so skinny and she had no wrinkles. Like, that is not how you're going to be remembered. People are going to talk about the kind of human being you are.
Right.
And that's the legacy you want to work on. I think we're just all spending a little too much energy thinking about the other stuff, because culturally that is what is being marketed to us.
Right.
From like the time our kids are like 12, you go into Sephora, it's like filled with like 10-year-olds looking at drunk elephant. You know what I mean? So it really is like a cultural issue. And I think she did a really good job kind of highlighting that and talking about that in a really real and powerful way, because she was giving so many different angles, and so many of them resonated.
So many resonated. And basically what she was saying is your face tells the story of your life, and you don't need to erase all that, because what you'll end up doing is you'll erase the plot. And I don't know, that resonated.
Yeah.
So this moment is not about aging or appearance. It's about experiencing ourselves from inside and start healing from the outside. And I liked that too. So you want to talk about your vignette?
Sure.
We both picked vignettes. The book is made up of vignettes of women and their stories relating to this.
Yeah. So the one I did, I forget the woman's name, but she was 49 and she was a famous actress. And she was talking about her experience going to her class reunion, which is like, we all can sort of relate to going to a class reunion. You want to look your best, you want, whatever. So she was going to a class reunion. And of course, when she gets there, everyone's like fawning all over her. She's famous. And then she takes a trip to the bathroom. And as she's turning the corner, she overhears 3 guys who she thought were her friends in high school talking crap about her. And so some of the comments that they were saying was, her looks are fading. She used to be so pretty. It looks like she did drugs. With makeup, she's not that bad. I'd still hit it. Ugh. She looks like Steven Tyler relapsing on coke. She looks like she took testosterone shots. She'd be better if she got plastic surgery. At 50, your fuckability isn't the same as when you were 20. They were rating her on a scale of 1 to 10. They said time hasn't been kind to her. So, of course, she's hearing all this. She starts to have a panic attack. So she goes to the bathroom, shuts the stall door. She's trying to catch her breath. And in walk 3 or 4 women. They don't know she's in there. Well, the same thing starts to happen. Now they're all talking shit about her. And they're talking about how her makeup's not right. Someone needs to help her. She's probably a smoker. She looks too harsh. She has an eating disorder. They're pulling up pictures of her from the internet and picking through them and combing through them. And she's hearing all of this. And it's just obviously destroying her. And so the chapter ends where she goes out and she actually approaches both the man and the woman who have been talking about her.
She told them to F off.
And she does. She tells them to F off, and it was extremely powerful. But, we think that when women are celebrities, it kind of gives us even more right to be judgmental. I think we've all done it. Like, oh, she looks so good, or oh, she didn't age well. And, it's just like, when I read that chapter, it made me take pause on that, because it's like all of that kind of language just contributes to it being okay for men to do it. So that was my vignette that I thought
like
was super
that one.
powerful.
I think a lot of the vignettes throughout made me realize that even like the slightest little comments you make, whether people could hear them or not, like everybody is on their own journey. If people want, what people call duck lips, or people want extensions that go down to their butts, like that's their journey.
Yeah.
And I am going to, please help me, make a conscientious effort not to comment anymore, because I don't want people commenting on me. And you realize through this book how hurtful it is. My vignette was a woman who went to the movies with a friend, and in the movies was an actress who wasn't much older than her, and she's probably beautiful, but the bouncer, she was trying to get into a bar or something.
You know what movie that is?
What is it? It's with Leslie Mann.
Yeah, 40. This is 40.
Oh, this is 40.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. And the bouncer says, you're so fucking old, or you look so fucking old.
You're old as fuck.
You're old as fuck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was the exact quote.
Dismissing the woman as old as fuck. And this line is repeated several times, although it's meant as a throwaway joke in the film. It lands with this woman, Anne, 35, who's a music teacher, with unexpected force. She fixates on it. She compares herself to the actress, even though nobody is looking at her. She's thinking everybody in the theater is looking at her. She's thinking the popcorn guy is looking at her. So what began as a casual movie night becomes an internal spiral of self-consciousness and shame. And she starts becoming acutely aware of her face to a point where she's like obsessing. How is she smiling? How does it appear to others? Does she appear old? She begins to feel observed, evaluated, judged, despite no one doing this. And that phrase, old as fuck, embeds itself in her thoughts. It overrides her logic and perspective completely. And by the end of the passage in the book, something irreversible has happened. At just 35, she feels that her internal well and her sense of self has been poisoned. And you can kind of see that happening, not suddenly because she looks different, but because she has absorbed
She started thinking about it.
She started thinking about it. She's absorbed this external narrative about aging, and it allowed it to define her. And I think that the bottom line is just a moment like that can change everything.
Agreed.
And it stinks. I'm not doing it anymore. And so I think Bateman, throughout this book, I liked this line. She illustrates how quickly self-awareness turns into self-surveillance.
I loved that line.
And she said that this passage in particular, aging doesn't arrive gradually. It could arrive in a moment, and once it's there, it's hard to unsay.
Yeah, it was a great book.
Yeah, it was a really great book. Definitely recommend. Okay, so
we decided to do our intos and overs this week. Skincare edition.
Right. And although we'd love to give you like the lowdown on each one, we're just going to do a rapid fire here because we're running out of time.
We're running out of time. And also we should preface by saying, because we love these things, we hope you love them, but everybody's individual. So
right. And we'll link them all. Don't worry.
Yes. Okay. So cleanser.
Cleanser, I go for the Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser, and I rotate that with the Environ Youth Essential Cleansing Lotion.
Okay, cleanser, I use Elemis Pro Collagen Balm, or the prequel when I double cleanse. Sunblock.
Tried and true La Roche-Posay. For my face, I do this tinted mineral SPF, and for my lips, I do the Supergoop Lip Screen. Cannot suggest that enough. And also the One Skin SPF for my body.
I talked about this last week, but I do the Color Science Face Shield for my face. Retinol.
Retinol, now available in the States, but previously only in Paris, the A313 retinol.
I use either tretinoin or the Alpha Ret overnight skin cream. No, I'm saying that wrong. Hold on. It's the Alpha Ret Skin Science overnight cream. This is like if I'm picking one product that I'm saying you should get, it's this product. And I mix it, like one night I use tretinoin and one night I use that. I love the consistency. And every dermatologist that I hear like talking about retinol on TikTok, Skin Talk, whatever, a lot of them suggest this one.
Agree.
Moisturizer.
Moisturizer, I love this brand, Envirion. Focus Care Youth and Filler Cream. And thanks, Sarah, the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream for dewy skin.
skin.
Yeah, I love that. And also, I do love this Suzanne Kaufman night cream, so I do rotate them. But again, I'm going to pick one based on the answers to our questions because I think I'm probably loading them on.
Moisturizer. Is that you? Oh, you already did moisturizer?
I did.
All right. I do In Beauty. I use like so many different moisturizers, but lately I've only been using In Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Toner.
Environ toner.
I use the Tower 28 facial spray, which is a hydrochloric acid that basically kills the bacteria on your skin. Or I use the lotion P50 PIGM 400. Vitamin C.
Vitamin C, again, this brand, it is Environ. There was a typo before and it was throwing me off with Envirion. Environ Sequence Serum 1, cannot recommend it enough.
I use either SkinCeuticals CE or the U Beauty Resurfacing Lotion, which has like a bunch of things in it, but it has the vitamin C. So I rotate those two. Serums.
Serums, again, love this brand. First founded in Portugal, available here. Suzanne Kaufman, the Nutrient Serum.
Love it. I use the Zoe Growth Factor Serum. It's like a jelly consistency, but it has growth factors in it, and so I love that. Lips.
Lips, tried and true, Goop.
And I just stick with the Aquaphor. It is literally the only thing that doesn't make my lips burn. All right, let's do one quick anti-aging over.
Okay, one quick anti-aging over is, for me, I am over the rabbit hole. I am over not having confidence to make clear decisions by myself and with those that I trust.
So you mean you don't want to be influenced?
See what she did there? I want to be influenced, but in the correct manner. And I also want to have the confidence to make decisions based on what I need, not what I want, what I think I want to look like based on who's saying it. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Right.
I think I'm over under eye patches.
We said.
Yeah, I
Toss them.
I just don't think they do anything, and I think they hurt when I pull them off. So I'm over them.
I'm over them. And by the way, if it needs a fridge, a timer, and a warning label, I'm out.
A fridge?
Like if people have fridges in their room.
I just want to say, if I had to walk downstairs to my fridge to get a serum out of it, it would never be used because my laziness level is way higher than my discipline level. So
okay, so as we're wrapping up and as we teased earlier, thanks to our friends at Forever Young, we have like the giveaway.
I couldn't believe they were so generous.
Of
like,
all
so
giveaways.
Nice. Yeah.
So it is an almost $500 gift certificate, good for a custom facial, a fat burning shot or a B12 shot, and a Forever Energy and Metabolism Vitamin IV.
Wow.
The mother load. Again, almost $500. Follow us on Instagram. Tell your friends to follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll give you all the instructions on how to enter.
How to enter there.
Yeah, so it's only good for the local peeps, but I do believe there are Forever Young locations throughout the country. So
yes.
All right, well, tune in next week, and we are going to be talking about the wisdom we get from the generations before us. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
For
Bye.
listening.